Hi everybody, this video will tell you about a website called Raspberry Pi, which you can use to go on to do some online coding. So there's lots of games on Scratch that will guide you through creating your own little games and things like that. It's a really great site and I'd recommend you get on and have a go at it at some point. It's really, really good. So the website is Raspberry Pi, and if you go to the home page, it looks a little bit like this. But what you want to do is go to projects at the top, and it'll say, hello, what would you like to make today? But we can just browse all the projects for this one. Now, in order to go into Scratch, which is an online coding program, you have to click any software here. So we're going to filter out the ones we don't want. I'm going to click Scratch. So these are just Scratch games. You can change the level. A lot of these are quite easy though. So you can go into Creator or Builder if you want, but if you want a more challenge, go into Developer and Maker. So as we scroll down, you've got lots of little projects you can go on, such as Beat the Goalie, Balloon Pop Game, Boat Race, Catch the Dots, Cats. Sounds interesting. Let's go through one together. So I like that one, Fart Catcher. That sounds like a good one. All right, let's go for Ghostbusters. So we click on it, and you can see down this side here, you've got all the different steps to complete the challenge. And here, it tells you, firstly, what the game looks like. So if I click the green flag, I should be able to play the game. I think I've just got to click on things for every time I click on them. Just the ghosts, though, I think. Just those. Not too bad. A score of 7. Underneath, it tells you what you'll need. So for this, you just need a computer and Scratch, which you get to in a moment. What you will learn, so it tells you what you'll learn doing this program. So for this one, why we need pauses between actions within loops, using code to generate random numbers, and adding a variable to store a game score. And this is just for adults. If you want to have a look at this, there are some notes you can download that'll help you teach it if you're sat with your child doing it, and the completed project there as well. So click Introduction, and you then get a really nice, easy step-by-step guide to completing the project. But it gives you little challenges along the way that you can kind of stop and try and have a go at. So the first one is open a new empty Scratch project. So I've ticked this already because I've already done it, but I can untick it and tick it again. Click here and it tells you how to do that. So I'm just going to go, you can use Scratch online or offline, and it says here to create a new Scratch project using the online editor, go to this. So I'm just going to click there and it'll open in a new tab. I've got my 2 tabs at the top here, and it should just open here. So it's creating the project now. So there we go, there's our stage. The first thing I probably want to do is clear this cat, because I don't really want him. So down here, it tells you these are called sprites. And there's a little bin icon. If I click bin, it'll get rid of the cat. So I've got a nice blank stage to start with. So we'll go back to the step-by-step guide. So the first thing it says to do is add in a new ghost sprite and a suitable stage backdrop. Now, if you're not sure of how to do that, you can open these 2 links here, and it will give you how to do it. I already know how, so I'm going to do it myself. Now, I'll start with the backdrop. So in case you haven't used Scratch before, this is where you put your code. These are your blocks that tell your code what to do. And this is your stage. So this is where you actually see your project. So as you can see at the moment, it's blank. So if I go down to here to stage and click here backdrops, you've got a few options. You can upload a backdrop. So that's where you can upload your own pictures. You've got surprise. If you click surprise, it just gives you a random one each time. You could paint one, or you could choose a backdrop. So for this, I'm going to choose a backdrop, and you get presented with loads of different backdrops you can use, lots to choose from. For this, it's got to be a spooky background. So let's go witch house or castle. Let's go for the castle. There we go. To add a character or a sprite, you can do exactly the same thing. Same options. You could do a surprise if you want. Oh, that's just a random button, so we don't want that. I'll delete that. A deep sea diver. Probably not quite right for this. So let's click choose a sprite, and let's go to fantasy at the top. You can see you've got sections here. So if I click fantasy, and let's choose, well, I've got the ghost here. Let's use the ghost. There he is. Okay. So let's go back. We can tick this off to say we've done that. And then it says we need to add a code to the ghost sprite so that the ghost appears and disappears forever when the green flag is clicked. So let's go to I need a hint. And you've got a few stages. So this one, it just explains the different buttons you could use. But if you click right here, it tells you the code blocks. And if you click again, it'll tell you how to arrange them. Okay. So for this one, we need to get some buttons in. So down here, we've got different settings for the different buttons. For this one, I'm going to go to events, and I want when the flag is clicked. So when I click this flag here, it will do something. So the first thing we need is forever, a forever block. Okay, that tells the program that we want it to do these things forever until we do something to stop it. So let's go to control and down to this block here, forever, drag that in. We also needed it to hide and then wait 1 second, then show, then wait 1 second. So let's go to looks, go down to, let's go to show. We can put them both in, I guess. Okay, so we want it to hide and then wait for 1 second. So let's go back to control. And let's go for here, wait 1 second. Put it underneath the hide block. And then the same again, wait, show, and then wait 1 second. So when I click this green flag, what should happen is it should do this forever, hide for 1 second, and then show for 1 second. So let's test it. Always test your code as you're going. There we go. So it hides and then shows for 1 second at a time until I click here to stop it. Okay, let's tick that off to show we've done that. And it does say to test and save your project. We've tested it. If you have an account on Scratch, you can save your work as you go. Let's just click that's done. Okay, so the ghost is really easy to catch at the moment because it doesn't move. So can we add a code to the ghost so that instead of staying in the same position, the ghost appears at random positions on the stage? So I need a hint. Let's think. Let's try and use just this clue here. So each time before the ghost appears, it should go to a random position. So we need to look at this go to, the blue button. So maybe motion here. Here we go, go to a random position. So that's probably what we're going to need. So let's try and put it somewhere here. Now we're going to need to include it. Let's put it here. So when we click the green flag, it'll hide for 1 second. Then it will go to a random position and then show for 1 second. Let's test it. There we go. So now he's appearing at different places on the backdrop, which is just what we want. Stop it there. Let's tick that off and move on to the next challenge. So this is a challenge, and it doesn't give you much of a hint for this except for to tell you what 2 blocks you might want to use. So can you add a code to your ghost sprite to make the ghost wait a random amount of time while it's hidden? And can you use the set size block to make your ghost a randomly larger or smaller each time it appears? We're going to need this wait block. So let's go back to here and to control. Okay, let's see what we've got. Well, actually, we've already got hide and then wait for 1 second. So let's think, where can I get random from? So let's look in sensing. That's sensors, so it's not going to be in there. What about operators? Oh, pick random. So instead of waiting 1 second, let's have it wait and pick a random number. Let's say 1 to 5 seconds. Okay, let's test that. So now it should wait for between 1 to 5 seconds randomly. Yep, that seems to work. Let's change 5 seconds to 3 seconds, so it's not as long. Stop and start it again. There we go, that looks good to me. And the other challenge was to use the set size block to make your ghost randomly larger or smaller. So let's look. Here we've got looks, set size, change size. Well, let's put set size because we needed the set size block in. So we want it to wait 1 to 3 seconds, go to a random position, then set size. Now, if I leave this at 100%, it's just going to stay the same size. So maybe I need a random size again. So let's go back to the green one here and pick random. Now, at the moment, this basically means that's 1%, set size to 1%. So this guy's going to go really tiny. So let's change it to between 50, that's half the size, and 150. So now let's see what happens when we click. There we go. So each time he appears, it's in a different position, and he's either bigger or smaller. Cool. So we did the challenge. Okay, let's put the code for catching the ghosts in. So for this game, when we click on the ghost, that means we've caught it. So we want the ghost to disappear when it's being caught. The player should be able to click ghosts to catch them. So let's look at the hint first. So when clicked, your ghost sprite should hide. So let's look at the blocks we want to use. Here we go. So when this sprite, we click it, it will hide. So let's go back to events. When this sprite is clicked, we want it to hide. So let's go back to looks, hide. There we go. So now when we play the game, when we click the ghost, there we go, it should hide when we click him. Oh, missed it that time. Right, let's put a score on then. So tick that off to say we've done that. We're not going to add a sound now, but you can do that challenge if you want. We're going to add a score now. This is where you use a variable. We're going to create a new variable called score. So all we need to do here is follow the instructions, click variables, click make a variable, and give it a new name. So we're going to call it score. So let's go to variables here, make a variable. I'm going to call it score, just for this sprite because we're just using this one for now. Click OK. Now you can see it's appeared at the top, but at the moment, when we click on our ghost, we don't get any change to the score. So that's what we need to change now. Okay. So to keep track of the score, so each time a player clicks on a ghost, the score should increase. So when the green flag is clicked, the score should be set to 0. Let's do that first. So we've already got the when flag is clicked. So when the flag is clicked, we set. Now we have to click this drop down here and score. So we set the score to 0. And when the ghost sprite is clicked, we want the score to change by 1. So when we've already got when the sprite is clicked, so let's change the variable, the score by 1. So now when we play the game, when we click on the ghost, there we go, our score is increased. Okay, so I'm nearly at the end of this video because I'm running out of time, but what you can do is work through then the next few challenges. And that's adding a timer, so it's about how many points they can get within a certain time. And then there's a few extra little challenges. So do explore this website, it's really great. Don't forget to go to projects, click the link at the bottom of the video, and you should be able to get there quite quickly. If you do make any cool games or interesting things on it, please send us a link to your teacher or to put it on the Padlet as well, and we'll have a look.